And we have another announcement. Robert F. Kennedy, unfortunately, will not be able to be with us because of a problem with one of his children. Mr. Kevin Berry, one of his associates, will say a few words about mercury in the environment. Mr. Berry, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dierbach. I know Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sends his regrets. He's delayed in California, as Dr. Dierbach said, by an issue with one of his children. We're all parents first, and he asked me to express that any future conferences he would love to be considered. So one thing I know that is near and dear to Mr. Kennedy's heart, and it permeates his book, Thimerosal, Let the Science Speak, is the idea of the subject of this afternoon session is toxic contamination of children. Thimerosal from vaccines would be one possibly obvious way to avoid a toxic exposure to children. The way the Minamata Treaty is the method that the United Nations has to be concerned about. No, the slides aren't part of it. The Minamata Treaty is how the UN is concerned about mercury, and here's from the preamble of the treaty. It reads, aware of the health concerns, especially in developing countries, resulting from exposure to mercury of vulnerable populations, especially women, children, and through them, future generations. So they're very aware of the health issues with mercury. But then later, in an annex towards the end of the treaty, there's an exclusion where it says the following products are excluded from this annex, and Section E is vaccines containing thimerosal as preservatives. So the language of that treaty was adopted in 2013. Let's say two very important events have happened since then that I would hope might make some of the delegations go back and amend the treaty. One of those things was Robert Kennedy's book. As I said, this is a very exhaustively researched book, and if you want to get it to your delegation, see me afterwards and I'll get you a copy. But in the book, which is Thimerosal, Let the Science Speak, the evidence supporting the immediate removal of mercury and neurotoxin from vaccines, Kennedy's research team over 2.5 years found 500 peer-reviewed studies that had 1,400 references that addressed directly the issue of thimerosal safety, and there was no single publication that said thimerosal was safe. The other important thing that's new information is in 2014, Dr. William Thompson, who is the lead researcher on thimerosal safety articles. He was the lead researcher on the main one from 2007 called Early Thimerosal Exposures and Neuropsychological Outcomes at 7 to 10 years. So his work had been used to say that thimerosal is safe, but on recorded phone calls from between May and July of 2014, here are some of Dr. Thompson's comments specifically about thimerosal. Dr. Thompson is recorded as saying, thimerosal causes tics. Do you think a pregnant mother would take a vaccine they knew caused tics? I would never give my wife a vaccine that I thought caused tics. And then eventually you could get to the message that, oh, tics are like 5 times as common among kids with autism. And then finally, there is biologic plausibility right now. I do really believe there is to say that thimerosal causes autism-like features. So those are two very significant and recent events. And hopefully the United Nations, as one of the 2 places in the world that really control vaccine policy, the United Nations and the White House, so those 2 buildings, hopefully we can go back and amend that treaty to remove the thimerosal exclusion. Thank you.